With this book, you will learn what it really means to be a player and a lover boy, using the tactics, the skill set, and developing the mindset to date with a purpose of getting sex and managing a team of women. Now, let's get started. First question, what is a player lover boy? I know a lot of times y'all hear the term lover boy, the man that loves the woman. I know a lot of times y'all hear the man that's a player, the man that plays the game and that gives women. The player lover boy is an archetype of a player that consists of attentiveness, but at the same time, detachment. Being this kind of in a strategic use of value. Being this kind of man will always shine light on what kind of women are actually out there. This man has the ability to show love through being attentive, through showing care, to being caring, to showing compassion, to show understanding, but at the same time seeing the emotional stimulant of what gets a woman going, but also at the same time allowing her to be a freak, a slut, sometimes even a degraded woman that loves to crawl in order to get the D. A player lover boy will draw or hit all cylinders of what this woman is, making her obsessed. Once a woman experiences this kind of man, she becomes obsessed with this man. Not because of the sex, not because of the emotional and mental stimulant, but the combination of all three, and at the same time, not feeling any urge to control the man and not feeling like she has the ability to control the man, allowing her to completely let go and completely chase and submit to the man who is the player lover boy. Chapter 1, Self-Respect. Self-respect is something that will always be the determining factor on whether or not a woman decides to have sex with a man. A man that respects himself will not deal with, nor put up with, or tolerate anything that he doesn't like. Whether that be belittling, whether that be the game of comparing, whether that be nagging, whether that be any kind of behavior that the man is not okay with, it is 100% guaranteed that that woman will get checked once. The second time will be a warning of being let go. The third time is, I'm going to guarantee, walk away. Now, at the end of the day, the amount of chances that you want to give to a woman is up to you. Some give a woman 2 tries, some guys give women 5 tries. But at the end of the day, it is up to your tolerance and the level of respect that you have for yourself. This is the determining factor on whether or not a woman wants to not only sleep with you, but the level of peace that you can have while dealing with that woman. One key thing I want y'all to understand when it comes down to having respect from a woman is that you must have a high degree of respect for yourself. The more responsibility that you take in, the more you will be able to be capable of seeing in that woman when it comes down to her respecting you. It is about taking responsibility in your life. Yes, you have to take responsibility of the way she behaves in a relationship, but the stronger your tolerance is for not taking responsibility, the lower your tolerance is for not taking responsibility, the easier it will be for you to see where the disrespect lies and when it's time for you to take responsibility. Even though you might believe she's maybe supposed to know these things about you, or she's supposed to act a certain kind of way, it might be up to you it's going to always be up to you to teach her. In this form, in this fashion, you have to realize it is up to you to take responsibility for that woman. If you choose not to take responsibility for that woman, you will always be in a situation where you don't understand what's going on with her, and she will not understand what's going on with you because she is blind to the thing that you are avoiding to take responsibility of. What you must accept and realize is that you are king.
Sign into your vehicle before driving.
You are king. Everything that is happening in this space is up to you to get it to go the way that you want it to go.
Sign in successful.
If you choose to avoid responsibility and teaching her how to treat you and teaching other people around you in different environments how to treat you, you will be in a deficit of peace. You will be deprived of peace. You will be attacked constantly. You will constantly be in a state of an anxiety. This is a big key point of what makes a player a player. You have to first be a man. You have to stand up for yourself. Not just in one category of life, but in all categories of life. It is up to you to stand up for yourself and tell people what you are going to allow. I understand a lot of people, when they first get started with this, they may be thinking to themselves, well, why aren't they treating me this way? They should know better. The big thing is that a lot of people don't know any better. They don't understand how you feel. Neither do they care. The only way that they care is if you stand up and you make them care. This is how the world works. The same way how that woman is not going to automatically kiss your ass, the same way how that woman is not going to always say and do things that you might not like, it's the same way that everybody else around you, not just the woman, but in different environments, whether it be work, whether it be a lounge, whether it be a bar, you dictate how people treat you. At the end of the day, this is what it means to have self-respect. 1A. Vetting women to treat vetting women. Vetting a woman means teaching a woman on how to be when she is around you. What you have to realize is that yes, you want to allow her to take responsibility and confidently be in your space. But if she is being disrespectful, you cannot tolerate that. If you're a guy and you don't like a woman asking 1,000 questions, why 20, 50, 60 times, you have to help her and you have to tell her what to do. You have to tell her, pay attention. You have to tell her, I do this because I want to. You have to constantly be asserting yourself. For example, whenever a woman is talking to me and she's asking me questions and I'm answering the questions, and she asks me, why? Why do you do this? Why do you say this? Why this? Why that? I say, you have to pay attention. I do what I do. That's why I do it. You have to pay attention. So I do that so she can understand that it's better for her. It's for her to be in my space. She has to pay attention. It is not up to me to explain everything to her to help her have an understanding. If she has to pay attention to have the understanding. The assertion is constantly placed. This is allowing the woman to understand where she can be in your space. Another example, whenever I'm talking to a woman and she says something like, you're dumb as fuck, or you're stupid. What I say is, don't ever talk to me like that. Again, Just by simply laying down the law of what you're not going to allow will always change the narrative of what the woman thinks that she can and cannot do. This is the determining factor on how you get treated in a relationship. Key note: when a woman knows she cannot walk all over you, she will like you more. If she already likes you and she sees that she cannot walk all over you, she will like you more. By her liking you more, it's more likely for you to have the ability to have her desire you in a way that she wants sex more than you do, because she begins to admire that quality. Women do not respect themselves. One of the things that a woman says and does, most men, when it comes down to respect, most men will not allow. They will not do. Most won't. Simply by following your instincts and standing up for yourself and instructing her, if she already likes you, she will love you for that attribute. Because this shows that when she's with you, she is protected. When she is with you, boundaries do not get crossed. She will not only begin to love and lust for you, but she will have a admiration for you in her eyes. This will cause her to have feelings for you without you being there. This will cause her to experience an emotional roller coaster because she is not allowed to do any and everything while in your space. When this is felt, she begins to lose control when she knows you and she likes you, when she desires you. And the kicker is, when you respect yourself, a woman desires you more. The vetting process is training the woman to be able to be in your space and for you to have peace. It is up to you to consistently train the woman. Chapter 2. Don't tell a woman everything. Mystery/distance. keeps her attractive. Besides that, it is best for you to not get emotionally attached because of your time spent with her. A woman does not care about how you feel. No matter what she says, she does not give a fuck about how you feel. The only time she cares about how you feel is when she's actually trying to take control of you. This is the only time. Besides that, it is best for you to know when to hold your silence. Distance. When you're talking about distance and having distance away from a woman, it is about a measure of time. You should always have her ass on the clock, especially when you're first getting into being a player lover boy. Because when you're in the moment with a woman, it is easy for you to give her all to show that you care and give her the necessary attention to get her hooked. But you must not be hooked without in the moment. You cannot be hooked by her. You must understand is that 9 times out of 10, it is not about the feeling that you are giving her. It is not about the feeling that you're getting from her. It is the feeling that she's getting from you. You are the feeling. With you understanding this, you have to understand that you can pull this present feeling in any moment in your life because the feeling is coming from you, the man. With that being understood, you must realize that she must always be on the clock until she has proven that the distance is no longer necessary. Which means that she has to be vetted, she has to respect you, she has to show you love, she has to do the work necessary for you to get more time and attention. So, think before you make moves. Before you make any kind of move with this woman, you want to understand what is the purpose behind what you do. The more laws, the more rules that you have, just by simply thinking about what you're going to do next, you know when you're violating a rule. It must be a constant thing. You must constantly think about what you're doing. When you have this all locked in and you no longer have to guess your rules, you no longer have to guess the move that is best for you to take. This is when you are actually operating like a player lover boy. And that is not about necessarily everything being calculated down to the last little detail, but it's about you understanding how to position yourself to be in a certain moment. This is all about thinking about what you say before you say it. And partial of this rule is that you do not tell a woman everything. It is also very key for her to live in suspense, for her to stay surprised. When you tell her every single move thing that you're going to do next, the suspense is dead, the thrill is gone, and now you have to create another scenario for her to be entertained by. Let her live in the dark. Do not set an expectation for the future. Just be in the moment and enjoy the moment for what it is. Chapter 3. Be in the moment, but detached. The moment has so many opportunities to get to her heart, to get to her draws. Whatever you want from that woman, the moment will show you how to get there. Do not fully concentrate on her mind. Don't concentrate on her principles or the way that she looks at life. Only focus on the way she responds. If she is so uncontrolled that she is always emotionally reactive to everything that you do, both positive and negative, this means that this woman is under your spell completely. With you understanding this, you must be able to guide her through the emotional cycle that you want her to go down. Sometimes it's about learning. Sometimes it's about processing. Sometimes it's about her following instructions. Other times it's about vetting. And a good bit of the time, it's about sex, laughter, and smiles. Once you have this all locked in with this woman, you must be able to let go of the emotional roller coaster that you are putting through. A lot of players lose their to enjoy the moment and see it for what it is that will allow you to make the right moves and to make the right adjustments. For example, whenever you are in the moment with a woman, whenever you are in the moment and you are playing a game, you're not thinking about whether or not you're going to lose or whether or not you're going to win. You're simply playing to making one move at a time. When you're playing Monopoly, you're not thinking about who's going to win the game, who's going to have the most money, who's going to make the best move. You might analyze the players, but you're not necessarily counting yourself out, and you're not counting yourself to win either. You're just making the moves and understanding the person that's across from you, or the people that are across from you, and understanding their habits, the moves that they're making, and calculating the way that they make money moves. That causes you to see which moves are best to make. Of course, you want to win, but by you thinking about only winning, it allows you to can make a lot of mistakes, where sometimes sacrifices should be made, sometimes where negotiations should be made. You're going to be thinking about the best case scenario for you to win, instead of you seeing that the people can sometimes take your mentality of you trying to win and play it against you, because you're so focused on winning that you're forgetting to pay attention to the actual players. This happens a lot of time when it comes down to a woman's emotions, what a woman thinks, the way a woman moves. A lot of guys, they miss out on those signs, they miss out on those things because they're so focused on meeting a certain expectation, causing them to make the wrong moves because they're missing the way that the woman is moving. They're missing what the woman is actually saying. They're missing what the woman actually wants because they're not paying attention to what she's saying. Because they are so focused on driving home an expectation that they miss what's the opportunities that are in the moment. Be in the moment, but be detached. For example, when you are in the moment and you are watching a movie, you love the movie, you enjoy the movie. You're having a great time watching the movie. You might be laughing, you might be scared, you might be happy, you might be surprised, and you might be experiencing an emotional thrill. But when that movie ends, you do not feel any more or less of who you are, because you are detached from that movie. That movie does not define you and is not attached to you to the point where it ends. You feel like you have ended. You feel like you have lost a part of who you are. No, it is not. At that point, it is not about you liking her or disliking her. It is about you being attached. Keep in mind, you are battling a lot of habits. Society has conditioned you to feel attached to things versus you making necessary moves. The law of detachment is very key when it comes down to spending time with women, because when a woman realizes that you are good without her, it is a part of the reason why she starts to get driven crazy, because she has to prove to you in herself that she is worth going crazy over, that she is worth being attached to. And when she realizes that you are not attached to her, she begins to lose her sense of value. She begins to lose her sense of self, because she's allowing her to become more attached to you. And whenever she comes back, you just be in the moment with her, and you're giving her an experience the same way how you watch that movie, or your favorite movie, or your favorite TV show. When you come back and you watch that movie again, it never ceases to it never fails. It is because this is allowing you to make the most out of the moment while giving her an experience detail about you, even if she says she does, even if she really begs for it. You must understand that it's the mystique that she desires. The thing that makes her curious, the thing that makes her want to know more, is the fact that she doesn't know everything. With this knowledge, you must understand that it is useless to explain why you move the way you move, why you plan the way you plan, why you think the way you think to a woman, because she doesn't really care about the way you think. She doesn't care about the way you move. Only thing she cares about is the way you feel about yourself and the way you feel about her. That's all she cares about. If that's the case, what is the point of creating a narrative that she has to understand, providing her every single step, every single detail about why you do what you do and why you move the way you move, when she only cares about the way you feel and the way you feel about yourself and the way you feel about her. If this is the case, it's very easy, very simple to realize there is actually no point for you to do it. So, if you want me to be honest with you, if you want me to build clarity and get you to open your eyes, you must understand that it is the mystique, the curiosity of that woman that makes her intrigued and want to know more about you. A woman isn't there to understand every single detail unless she is worth it, unless she shows you that she is worth knowing every single detail. Until she shows you that, you should never even set an expectation of her needing to know. You must understand also that it is the distance from that woman that makes her want you even more, because she values you more. She values your time, she values your words, she values your presence more when she doesn't have it around, because she understands what she's missing more. Versus the guy, versus the man who doesn't understand what he's missing. The fact you understand what you're missing, it allows you to build up a relationship with this woman where she sees your value, your time, your distance, your attention as important. And because she sees it as important, that's what makes her want you even more. What you understanding is, and what you understanding that it is literally just a mystique that she desires. It is a reason. It is her not knowing everything about you that makes her desire you more. Excuse me. I don't mean to hold y'all up, but I just saw y'all wanted to introduce myself. What's your name? I don't mean to hold you up, but what's your name? Felicia? Domino. I just saw you. Just saying somebody I want to get to know. So, you can take down my number and we start getting to know you. I like it. 225-154-0677. Name Domino. You're not from here. New Orleans? You about to be out here for like a little bit? Only today and tomorrow? Okay, well, I'll talk to you. Nice to meet you too. Alright, so now it's the mystique. It's the mystique, it's the mysteriousness that makes her want you even more. The fact that she doesn't know every detail about you, it makes her want you and desire you even more. But through that desire through that mystery is when the desire and the intrigue is actually built. Because she doesn't know everything about you. The distance makes her curious and makes her value your time even more. The time that you have away from her and you being strategic with the amount of time that you spend with her, just enough to keep her curious, makes her want you even more. Why? Because a woman not knowing everything about you will always build a desire. Versus if a woman knows everything about you, she will lose desire because she no longer has a reason to continuously ask herself questions. But you knowing this, you must, and I mean you must understand that a woman should not know and should not be told everything until she shows how much she values you. Being a player lover boy, one of the biggest things that makes a player lover boy is the way he uses his value. Your attention, your time, your thought process, the way you feel, the way you think is what makes you valuable. Everything else Excuse me. I don't mean to take up too much here. I don't mean to hold you up, but what's your name? Trinity? Domino. Nice to meet you too. Well, you seem like somebody I want to get to know. You seem like somebody I would want to get to know. You seem like somebody I would want to get to know. Okay? I ain't lying. The attitude, like the slickness, kind of turned me off. That shit made. I ain't lying. The way she moved, it kind of made me like look at her like, okay, like you know what I'm saying? Like, this how you acting? Like this how you act? I don't think I really want you. I ain't gonna care, like. You acting, you think I shouldn't be talking to you. But anyway, before you talk to a woman, you must understand that everything must be facing and must be directed towards your end goal. The reason why I had to explain to y'all that it's important for her to not know every single detail and to have that curiosity is because it's the thought process behind her not only not knowing everything, but the thought process behind her being curious and wanting to know more that makes her want to follow your instructions more. That makes her want to see where you're going next more, allowing you to have full power and direction of where you want things to go. With that same sentence being said, what you have to understand is you have to be intentional about where you want things to go and why you say what you say and why you do what you do. You have to know your intention. Your intention has to be predicated on, has to be built around taking things to a certain direction. If you're just talking to a woman for the sake of just talking to a woman without a sense of direction of where you want that relationship, that conversation to go, whether it be sex, whether it be a date, whether it be building a connection, whether it be her figuring you out, whether it be, you seeing if she's the right kind of partner that you want, whatever the case might be, you seeing these things and you going into her mind and you figuring out more about her, what you have to realize is you will begin to unlock more and more inside of her by simply telling her what to do, simply guiding her of where you want her to go, simply going in taking a conversation where you want the conversation to go. This allows the woman to be a woman. She no longer has to think, and because she no longer has to think, she have now a lot the ability for her to be able to go wherever you want things to go. have success when you take it there. As you can see, the mystique builds desire. The mystique builds curiosity. The distance away from her builds time. It builds value, which also builds a higher sense of desire. You being intentional with your conversations, you being intentional where you want things to go, whether it be sexually, whether it be in connection, whether it be, seeing what plan are you going to set in time for her. Whatever the case might be, it makes it 10 times more impactful by having a sense of mystique about yourself. I'm not telling you to lie to a woman. I'm not telling you to deceive a woman. But what I'm telling you is that her knowing everything kills the mystique. So sometimes it's best for her to not know everything. Just let her enjoy you. Let her enjoy you for who you are by making her laugh, make her smile, make her blush. But don't do everything for the sake of trying to explain who you are to a woman. Believe it or not, it comes off weird unless she has earned it, or unless she is curious to want to know it. Through earning it, through showing you that she is willing to earn it. Not every woman deserves you. Not every woman deserves your time. Not every woman deserves an explanation. It has to be earned. What makes a player lover boy a player lover boy? You play to win, but you also produce value. This makes a woman desire you. This makes a woman want to chase you. This makes a woman want to show you more about herself by simply you being intentional and you understanding that she doesn't need to know everything for her to want you, for her to follow you. By you understanding this, you realize the importance of why you don't need to tell a woman everything. Example number 1, explaining yourself. Some guys want to explain themselves to a woman. They want to tell a woman everything about what they You gotta pay attention. A guy want to tell a woman everything about herself. He want to tell her why he moved the way he moved, why he thinks the way he thinks. Example. A guy's talking to a woman, and he's telling her that he wants to go to the movies with her. He wants to meet her at the movie theater at 9 o'clock. And at the movie theater, 9 o'clock p.m. tonight. So when he hears that, he just says to himself, okay, that's the time we're going to set. And then she says, well, why we got to do it that time? He asks, when's the next time you free? He's like, well, she says, well, I'm free the entire day. So why do you want to do it at night? You have one or two choices. You can say, that's the time that I want. Or you can say, we can meet at this time because this is when I'm free. Both answers are true, and both of them are just statements. But if you say, well, I want to meet you at this time because I want to be able to actually talk to you, I want to be able to kick it with you, and I don't really want to see you throughout the day, I'd rather see you at night, so if we do something, it'd be cool, and we don't have to, I don't have to worry about being tired the next day, or I don't worry about taking up too much time on the night, I just rather meet at 9 o'clock, so we can just smash, and go to watch the movie, take you home, smash, and just not want to do anything, and not have to worry about getting up the next morning, and I don't want to have to worry about me not getting certain things done throughout the day. I got a lot of things planned throughout the day that I don't want to. You doing all of that is not for that woman. You doing all that is for you. You believe that woman knowing all of that makes her want you more and makes her more accepting of what the instructions that you need. single detail about your life, and for her to follow the instruction is not a woman that will follow you. This is a woman that wants to take the lead. So knowing this, why entertain this kind of woman when you know all she really wants to do is take the helm? She wants to lead you. You know what I'm saying? So with this being the case, you just losing more and more value, You're letting her see that you're scared. You're letting her see the way you think. You let her see the way you feel. You let her see everything about you. When those things aren't the things that make her want to talk to you anyway. So what's the point of you telling her? That's not going to determine whether or not she goes anyway. So there's no point of you telling her. They don't. A woman does not care about that shit. So with you knowing this, only thing you really need to say is, this is the time where I'm free, or this is when I want to. You don't need to tell a woman everything. Example number 2. It might be a time where you feel like, a woman asks you, well, how do you think like this? How are you so intellectual? And you might tell her, it's a guy that doesn't know this rule might tell her, hey, listen, I remember I had a teacher, I was growing up in school, and this guy in school, and I had to learn this, and I got introduced to that, and I got introduced to that, and it made me want to learn this, and I learned this, and I fucked up with that, and I did this, and I did that. By you telling her all of these things, you miss the point of her just giving you a compliment saying that she just simply admires you. She doesn't give a fuck about your story. She just likes the fact that you feel this confident about your intellect, or whatever the case is, that she's giving you a compliment about, that makes her want to discover and want to know more about why you are the way you are. Whatever you say, by the way, she will never believe you fully anyway. She would never fully believe you. I'm telling you, she will hear what you say, and she will say, okay, I remember he told me this, but she won't necessarily believe it. Why? Because women don't believe until they see. Most women don't until they see it for themselves. And that's why I'm telling you, there's no point of you telling this woman this, because no matter what you say, no matter what you do, she has to see it for herself. So just bear in mind, this is how women think, this is how women behave, this is how women move, and you shouldn't take it personally. You shouldn't look to yourself and say, well, she doesn't care. You shouldn't take it personally. Because just because she doesn't care about what you say when you explain yourself, it doesn't mean that she doesn't care about who you are. She just simply doesn't like the fact that you're acting insecure. She's asking herself, why is this man so fucking insecure? And it has nothing to do with you necessarily being insecure, but just about you explaining yourself. She's asking herself, why is he always explaining himself? It doesn't even change anything. And a lot of times, guys, what you have to realize is that you explaining yourself is a waste of time and breath. Say what it is and be done with it. That's all you have to do with a woman, is think about it, say what it is, and be done with it. 2A, know when to think before you say things. Sometimes women say things that they don't mean. They just say what they feel. Now, unless she is being disrespectful, if she's being disrespectful, of course you check her ass. But 9 times out of 10, she's going to say things that she doesn't mean. So with this being said, you got to realize that the same rule applies. Don't take what a woman says seriously. If she says something disrespectful, yes, you check her. But sometimes a woman will say things like, I don't like this about you, I don't like that about you. And honestly, it's best for you to sit back and think about it and realize that she can say that she doesn't like you, but if she's showing you that she's liking you, she's showing you that she's going to cooperate, and she's meeting unattractive to the woman. What you have to understand is you being calm, you controlling yourself makes the woman more attracted to you. So just keep that in mind and bear in mind that you want to think before you speak. Chapter 3. Be in the moment, but be detached. Chapter 3. Be in the moment, but be detached. The point of this chapter is to realize that the moment always offers an opportunity for you to win her heart. So, be in the moment and let go and watch as she begins to let go as well. Mastering being in the moment without being detached is one of the biggest skills of what makes a player a player. Understanding that nothing can happen unless it just happens. You cannot force things to happen. You cannot force things to go the way you want them to go. What you have to understand is the only thing you can do is realize that this is not going to last forever, but at the same time, it can be something that you can enjoy. Don't expect it to end, but don't expect it to last forever. Just be in the moment and just accept everything for what it is and fully engulf yourself into what's going on right here, right now. With that being the case, it allows you to see every opportunity of what's actually going on inside of that woman. A lot of guys, for example, it's the same thing as watching a movie, enjoying the movie, enjoying the thrill of a movie. And for me, and after watching it, not letting that movie define who you are as a man, not wishing and hoping that, the movie continues and you just sit in the movie theater forever, hoping that it continues. When that motherfucking title ends, that's the end of the movie. It's the same thing. So, for example, it's like me spending time with a woman, and I make this woman laugh, I make this woman smile, we have a genuine connection, and she's having a good time. She's enjoying herself. She seems like she doesn't want to hang up the phone with me, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm enjoying her so much is that I'm over the limit of how much I really should hang out with her. I'm at the point where I'm just trying to cut it short because I'm just enjoying her company. But at the same time, I understand that this moment isn't going to last forever. I understand that, it's not going to end unless I make it end. So it's up to me entirely. In that moment, what I began to realize was that she was very, very, very much into me, and it didn't really matter much of what I did and what I said. She was all for whatever I wanted. Whether it be me flirting with her sexually, whether it be me making a joke and going into a fantasy, or sexually, or, just diving into her imagination. She was all for it. She was all open to it. And I was able to make jokes about her and about the situation, seeing not, because I wasn't thinking about, well, what if she doesn't say this, or what if she says that, or, what if I say this and then she gets mad, she doesn't want to talk anymore, or what if, I say this and she gets the wrong idea about anything. I wasn't thinking about any of that. I was being in the moment, not really thinking, not investing myself into the future. I was just simply being in the moment and then just having fun and doing whatever I wanted to do right then in that moment. So that's what it was. It's just being in the moment and understanding that this moment can this moment can end at any moment, but at the same time, not expecting it to last forever. The second key to being in the moment and making sure that you enjoy it to the point where that you actually, you're actually just in the moment is you don't set expectations.
Setting expectations is you investing into something that's going to happen in the future. The thing is, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You never know. And that's the point of why you need to always, remind yourself that, listen, that shit might not ever happen. It's a possibility, but I'm not banking on that. I'm banking on what I can do right here in this moment, because I can take it somewhere, that I didn't expect, and I can take it somewhere sooner. Or, it might never happen and it might end. The thing is this. A lot of times, guys get their feelings hurt because they set expectations and they believe in those expectations so much, and they put so much energy and so much of themselves and so much of their value, their sense of self, into that expectation, that when it doesn't happen, they become devastated. And then they find themselves being somewhat of a bitch, where they're losing all their power from the woman because they're so devastated, or they're so invested, that they're willing to give up their power just for the possibility of that opportunity, of that outcome actually happening. And this is where most guys fail, because they're setting expectations into something that has nothing to do with what's actually shown in the moment at hand. If you live in the moment, you can just make the most out of what you can right now, and you can see for yourself. You don't have to, guess or hope or dream that something like that happens down the line. And a lot of times, bro, that's what makes you break. That's what causes heartbreak. For example, if I'm talking to a woman, and me and this woman named Kate. Kate's a chill girl. Kate likes to flirt. Kate likes to relax. Kate likes to, every time I talk to Kate, we always having a good time. We always kicking it. We always doing all these things. We're always enjoying ourselves. We always, laugh. We always flirt. We always get sexual. It's always a good time spending time with Kate. But the thing about Kate is, Kate likes to set an expectation of, I can't spend time this weekend, but next weekend, I guarantee you, we're going to spend time together. You say, okay. I say, okay. Because that's what the moment has to offer. She is not available this time, so I'm waiting until next time. But it's not that Kate didn't do anything crazy, but I begin to think to myself, well, this woman seems like she's cool. She seems like she might be, a woman I want to be in a relationship with. She seems like a woman I would want to, chill with every other day. Me thinking like that made me so invested into that future that I was hoping, like, damn, well, I can't wait till, the next date we set up. And then that date comes, and then she says, no, I can't do nothing this date, but the next date, I promise you I can. And then because I am so invested on the possibility of this possibly be a woman that I can see as my girl, I begin to tell myself, well, I guess I'm going to wait till next week, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something with her next week, because, it's more, that's the only way that possibility is going to happen. So I don't want to, rock the boat. I don't want to, do anything the wrong way. So all this begins to happen, but in that week the week time frame, she doesn't even talk to me. So now, because I have the thought process of this might be my girlfriend, I'm starting to think to myself, well, damn, what if she's doing this because I did something, or I said something weird, or I got too sexual too soon, or, maybe I made her uncomfortable, or I started saying all these things because I want the possibility to happen so bad that I began to lose who I actually was, which is a cool, fly motherfucker. But I began to not see that I was a cool, fly motherfucker because the expectation that I had set wasn't being met, so I began to blame myself for the sake of that expectation being met. And the whole time, she just really didn't like me. She didn't like me that much, but I wasn't thinking that. I didn't see that because I wasn't really in the moment identifying the fact that she's not really into this sexual shit like I thought she was. And I beginning to realize later on, like in due time, I began to realize when I flirt with her, I can tell she was only saying those things because she knew if she say those things, I was going to keep talking to her about it. And she just liked the attention. She's an attention whore, so she just wanted to keep getting that attention. But because I wasn't in the moment those first few times, I didn't identify that until later on. And this is what I mean when you set expectations, it blinds you to what's actually going on in the moment. It can be a good thing or a bad thing. For another example, they had a situation where I saw a woman, man, she has a nice ass, she had a fat ass, man, thick thighs. She just voluptuous, just an all-around, like, big, busty woman. Like, she had big titties, like a little stomach on her, but her ass and her thighs were just fat, juicy. Pretty face, natural long hair, and I was like, man, let me go get that. Went to go talk to her, went to put in my bid, and in that moment, she said, oh, yeah, I'm only going to be here tonight and tomorrow. But because I wasn't in the moment and I was so focused on just putting in the bid and just focused on, getting our number, I didn't realize that, hey, I could have set something up right then and there. I could have smashed her that night. But I didn't realize it because I was so focused on getting the number. I wasn't in the moment. I was looking to the future. And this is what I mean. A lot of times, the biggest part of what makes a player a great player is by you being able to be in the moment. The conclusion. Being in the moment will cause you to naturally be more adaptable. It will cause you to be more intuitive, and it cause you to be more attentive to what's actually going on in the situations, allowing you to have more opportunity, being able to have more possibilities work in your favor. Everything works in your favor when you're in the moment. It also allows you to see when things aren't working in your favor and it's a complete waste of your time. One of the biggest things I want y'all to understand about, your time is that your time is the most valuable thing that you have. There are 1,000 women out there. The women that are for you are out there. And there are a lot of them that are for you. Some of them want to have sex with you. Some of them, they actually want to be in a relationship with you. But the whole reason of you, what's the point of you wasting time with a woman that is not there when you have women out there who really, really want you? And this is the case. My whole point of what I'm saying is you need to be in the moment to be able to recognize the differences and to be able to take advantages of the opportunities of these two different spaces. One thing I want you to also recognize is when you are actually in the moment and you actually tap into, flow state, being in flow, not caring about tomorrow, not caring about yesterday, you're just being in the right now moment. What you'll begin to realize is you will be you'll be more naturally creative. You'll be more naturally witty. You'll be flyer. You'll start saying flyer shit because you're not thinking about anything else but right here, right now. And that's what it means to really be in the moment. You have to learn to not think about the future, not think about the past, not think about outside sources, but only right here, right now. You have to have clarity. You want to have clarity. The point of being in the moment is having ultimate clarity. Relax, breathe, and realize everything that is for you is going to come to you. It's already coming to you. You just need to sit back and relax. And once this begins to happen, and once you embody this, what you begin to realize is that the flow state is actually easy to be in. It's very easy to be in. You have nothing else to worry about while you are in the flow state. So, just keep in mind, you are already the guy that you need to be. You just have to be in the moment and enjoy what is going on right here, right now. If something doesn't go the way you want it to, or you fuck up, you'll figure it out later. Trust that you will figure it out later. But if you're so focused on not fucking up right now, it's because you're thinking about the future. If you say something wild, you just say something wild. If you do something nuts, you just do something nuts, and you make an adjustment later on down the line. Stop thinking about other people and realize that you have to embody who you are at all times. Complete self-acceptance. Chapter 4, the way you start. conversations, small advice on overcoming approach anxiety, and thus forth. One thing you have to realize is that starting a conversation is all about understanding how to organize a conversation within yourself. You see, you have to understand the why behind everything you do. You have to understand the purpose behind everything you do. And with that leads to you being more intentional with your conversations. It's all about helping people understand exactly what your intentions are. When your intentions are made clear, it's easy for them to make a decision to see what's best for them to do. Once this is understood, it's easy to communicate, but it's all about diving deeper and getting better at practicing the why you are doing what you're doing, why you're saying what you're saying. It's all about the communication that you have with yourself. The way you talk is the way you listen. For example, whenever you are talking to a woman and y'all having a conversation about life, there are multiple categories that you can go down, but you have to understand why you're going down these categories. For example, you might want to figure out something about the woman. You might want to understand her perspective on life, her perspective on friends, her perspective on relationships. What are her values? With this being your intention, you can now understand that the conversation that you choose to have does not always have to be direct. You see, with you understanding that your intention is to understand a woman's value, her values on life, you can understand, you can ask, if you can live a life and explore and do whatever you want, whatever infinite amount of money, what rules would you give yourself when it comes down to your friends and your family? It gives you an evidence on, within an unlimited supply, it shows you where her insecurities lie. It can show you where she is lacking in her game. You can see where she's lacking in her perspective on life. You can see all of these avenues giving you a better understanding the level of mindset of the woman that you're talking to. When you understand the level of her mindset, you can easily understand how to assert yourself into either being in a relationship, creating more values for that woman, or one night stand, understanding how soon you can get hit, you can, get laid with that woman. All while understanding why you want to look for the values. Okay? The purpose of the value is to, one, understand the way she views life. Why? Because you want to understand the quality of person that you're talking to. Why? Because you want to understand what you want to do with her. Why? Because you can understand exactly where you want to go with her, and whether you can be in certain situations with her, where you can operate in life with her, where you can, even just be a one night stand or a fuck buddy with. You want to understand these values because you want to understand what's important to her in life, or what's important to her when it comes down to friends, when it comes down to family. You want to understand these things because once you get this in order, you know what kind of woman that you're dealing with. This is all about being intentional with your conversations. It doesn't matter exactly what you're talking about. The only thing that matters is that your intentions are always known. Now, even if you are letting a intention be known, it doesn't always have to be necessarily, your number one intention. As long as there's a intention being known, you're good. Okay. Now, when it comes down to starting a conversation to a woman, the best thing when approaching a woman and going up to talk to a woman, the best thing to do is to say, excuse me, because you do not want to disturb. You want to understand that you're not here to really you understand that she has things going on. You're not here to just step on her day and fuck up her day. But, you have something to say to her, which is, you also want to let it be known that you're not going to hold up much of her time. You just want to, she just seems like somebody that you would want to get to know. Whether this be direct, whether you choose to be indirect, the point is that you want to understand, you want to let your intention be known. Right? You gotta let your intentions be known. This is why starting a conversation is so important. You can see whether or not this woman lives close. You can small talk, see if she lives close, see the things that she likes to do. You can small talk these things very quickly to understand what kind of person you're dealing with and whether or not she'll be feeling you. You can flirt with her, you can do all of these things. I'll say that for later on in the book. But you can do all of these things to also see if this woman really likes you or not. Because sometimes you can figure out right there on the spot, whether or not a woman actually likes you. And once you know, you can dip out. You can do whatever you can do whatever you want with it. If you want to entertain it, you can. Because she's like medium interest or she has very high interest. You want to get down that number. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a woman that really likes you. It's worth the time. Whatever you want, she's gonna be all about it because she really likes you. You know what I'm saying? So once you got all this down and understanding your intentions, it's very easy for you to make a woman laugh. It's very easy for you to make a woman smile. It's very easy for you to make a woman blush because you understand what's important and what's important and what's about. You understand what matters. And once you understand what's important, you don't put as much weight on yourself about what matters and what doesn't matter, how perfect you should say things, because, dog, you can stutter, you can repeat yourself, you can say things the wrong way, but if you just let it be known that you make the necessary corrections because you understand what's important for her to understand, it's easy for her to take that and just be like, okay, cool. And once you get that, you put less pressure on yourself once you really witness that a woman doesn't really care as much as you might think you do, as much as she might, you might think that she does, because she just wants to understand why you have to say what you want to say. A lot of these women are very cool with just sitting down talking to you guys, man. Especially if she likes the way you look, she's cool to sit down and talk to you. She's cool to sit down and talk to you if she likes the way that you talk, especially for a few minutes. Now, I'm not telling y'all to sit down for hours and, try to talk to women for 10 minutes and 5 minutes. That's too much. You know what I'm saying? If she's cool with you, the amount of time is secondary. It's all about, you're letting your intentions be known with this approach and continue on with your day. Now, a lot of guys, chapter 4A, a lot of guys have problems with approach anxiety. And this is not going to be a big breakdown on how to overcome approach anxiety from multiple angles, but I'm going to give you guys a few keys so you can fully understand and fully grasp the concept on the fear that you're facing and why you have this fear. You see, a lot of times guys measure themselves up against women and automatically like they're in third place or second place when the woman is automatically number one. And these purposes can be because the woman looks good. She has a nice face, she has nice ass, a nice body, and the guy automatically says to him, so this woman is very special, this woman is very important, so I have to move a certain kind of way to get this woman. Well, this might not be the case. This woman might not be shit. This woman might not be cooperative. This woman might not listen to you. This woman might be a waste of time. This woman might be boring. This woman might honestly see you and just think that she's not good enough for you. A lot of concepts can come into play when you're meeting a woman that looks good. But if you automatically determine whether or not she is better than you, and you're saying to yourself that the woman is better than you already are no good. Especially if you introduce yourself and you're saying she's better than you because of your looks. It's very shallow of you to say that because there's so much about a woman that, especially from an experienced man's perspective, there's so much about a woman that makes a woman an actually good woman besides her looks. Her looks are not even secondary. Her looks are not even secondary. Her looks not even third. Yes, it gets you to walk in the door, but once that happens, she's not actually that important, guys. She actually is not that cool. Even if she has a nice career, it doesn't matter. A woman can have a nice career and be so insecure about herself. A woman can have a lot going on in her life and not have no real sense of purpose. Like, a woman can seem like she has everything figured out and feel lost and feel, depressed. And, there's a lot of things about women where they wear this mask, and especially women that the better she looks, man, the thicker her mask is. You know what I'm saying? Where they wear this mask and they really do believe to themselves, hey, I have to be this certain kind of way in order for me to really, for people to like me and for me to get what I want, or for me to do, and it's not who they really are. This is why I always say you don't necessarily need to have $1 million. You don't necessarily need to be, 6'7". You don't necessarily need to be in the best shape ever. You don't necessarily need to be well known to get a woman, because it's all based upon the image. Women understand the image. Women look past the image. So if you are working on yourself and you are reading this book, which means you are already working on yourself, you're fine. You're fine. You're going to develop these skills necessary. You're going to develop these new habits that these books are going to give to you. And it's going to make you a better player in the game. But what you have to understand is that women automatically look at the cosmetics of a man, because this is what women do. Women wear makeup. Women spend hours in the mirror practicing on their hair. Women try to wear the best dress. Women try to do everything to look their best. So of course when they run into a man that does everything he possibly can to look a certain kind of way, she's going to automatically lose, because he's putting too much weight on his looks. You have to put your weight onto who you are. Yes, you're supposed to look like a fly motherfucker. Yes, you're supposed to talk well. Yes, you're supposed to communicate who you are very well. But yes, you're supposed to have all of these, you're supposed to smell good. Yes, you're supposed to look good, smell good, You're supposed to have your hair cut, take care of your skin. Yes, you're supposed to do these things.
Oh, shit.
But at the end of the day, you do not want to just have that alone. You need to be able to have the other qualities on top of that, because a woman isn't necessarily, once she sees that she's you and she's interested in you, she's asking herself now what the fuck she's looking for. What are you going to say that's going to make her want to know you, want to get to know you, right? And this is where the determining factor is based upon stock of you understanding that women can look good on the outside and not look good on the inside, and see you and not think that you're all that on the outside, but think you are the guy on the inside. You hear it all the time, guys. For example, you hear women say all the time, I'm a doctor, I have a good career, I make 6 figures, I'm doing well for myself, but I just keep finding myself talking to men who don't have anything going on for themselves. I keep talking to men that are broke. The only kind of man that comes to me and that talks to me are men that are broke. Only men that I talk to are men that don't have money, who are not that tall. She has all these things going on, and a great looking woman, but she always finds herself around guys who are quote unquote bad boys. Guys who are street, guys who are scammers, guys who are corrupt in business, might be a corrupt doctor, might be a corrupt, all these corrupt people. These are bad guys, narcissistic men. All these bad guys. They keep asking themselves why they keep getting attracted to these guys. Just to let you know that it has nothing to do with the outside. It has everything to do with the inside. The thing that woman is attracted to, there's a lot of guys who got money. There's a lot of nice guys that talk to that woman. There's a lot of nice guys, good guys, that talk to that woman. She's just not attracted to those guys. And once you understand that she's not attracted to those guys, you start to understand why. You start to really understand why you are losing. Because a lot of those guys don't have the things that I'm telling you guys now, which is the basic things of masculinity. They're not attractive. They are insecure. They do what they should do. They say what they should say. They don't do what they want. They don't go for what they want. And in this book, I'm teaching y'all, breaking down to y'all, is that these are not the guys that women actually want. It has nothing to do with them being nice. It just has everything to do with them willing to do any and everything just to be in the presence of a woman. And it's not okay for guys to be like that. But the society tries to say, okay, well, if you are looking at this guy, or you're looking at this woman like she's just a sex object, if you're looking at this woman like she can't be anything outside of sex, then maybe, you're not a good guy. Maybe you're not a nice guy. You're not the guy that women want. And that is not true, guys. That is not true. Some women want to just have sex with you. Some women are going to find you attractive. The stigma on women trying to get guys to not view them as a sex object has everything to do with the fact that they are some weirdos out there, but it also has to do with the fact that sometimes guys go overboard with sex and they talk about sex too intense, too soon, and it turns women off. It turns women off. So when this is going down, you have to understand, man, a lot of this conversation and stuff is all about you understanding your intentions. But once she understands what kind of man you are, sex has to be emulated. For a woman to find you attractive, she has to see you in a sexual light. If she does not see you in a sexual light, congratulations, you're talking to a woman who isn't attracted to you. You know what I'm saying? And it's somehow, some way she has to view you sexually. If she hasn't viewed you sexually at all, this should let you know that this is a woman who is going to waste your time. She is going to waste your time. But I digress. The other thing about getting over anxiety is the way that you're thinking about this woman. You have to realize the things that you offer to every woman that you talk to. Whether it be the way you talk, whether it be the way you, for example, I am a very attentive man. With me being a very attentive man, I'm going to always have a great intellectual conversations because I pay attention to the woman and I force things out of that woman that she doesn't. I see things in that woman that she doesn't see in herself, and I begin to let her bring it to the light with the questions that I ask, the things that I go into, the things that I talk about. She begins to explore more about herself. That alone is going to always be interesting to every woman that I talk to. That and I have a great sense of humor. I have a dark sense of humor. I have a light sense of humor. I have a sarcastic sense of humor. I have a imaginary sense of humor. I have a theatrical sense of humor. I have all of these different things about me that's going to make a woman laugh. I'm very dirty. I'm very nasty. I'm very flirtatious. I'm very freaky. I'm very romantic. All of these qualities get put on display while I'm being attentive to this woman, drawing more things out into her. While drawing those things out, I hint that I understand. I see things about her that's freaky. I hint that I see things about her that she's gonna like about me in my romance. I hint that there are things about her that she's gonna like about me when it comes down to me being sensual. I speak on it. I bring her into my world, and this experience of mine is gonna automatically let women want to know more about me. This is very interesting. This is very intriguing. This is very sexual. I am also a psychology major. So I love to study psychology. I love to study sociology. With that being the case, I understand things about the world that most people don't. I understand things about people that most people don't. With this being the case, I'm going to always intrigue a woman when it comes down to me just simply sharing my perspective. These are things about me that I have to offer to a woman. She's going to automatically enjoy these things about me, even if she doesn't know it. And this is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand about yourselves. You need to have a certain thinking process about yourself that's going to automatically cause you to speak in a way that's going to be interesting to a woman. This is why it's so important for you to understand qualities inside of who you are that's very attractive to a woman. Once you get that down, man, it's going to take your conversations to a new height. Step 3, getting over approach anxiety. You need to start moving with a sense of clarity. When you start focusing on what you have to say instead of what might happen, is going to cause you to be in the moment, and you're going to begin to realize the way you feel is going to slowly begin to change. Each time you approach a woman, or every time you put a bid in with a woman and you introduce her, you say, excuse me, you introduce yourself, you let her know why you're there and you exchange information. When this happens, you're not focusing on outside things. You're just in the moment, enjoying what's there. A lot of the times, guys, opportunities are going to be there for you to grasp. Once you see these opportunities, grab these opportunities, enjoy these opportunities, and make the most out of them. But each time you do put in your bid and you make the most out of these opportunities, you will begin to realize you will get more comfortable because you are focusing on what's going on inside of your head, which is the things that you need to, which is your bid, instead of outside factors. Like, she seems like she has a lot of money. She seems like she's fashionable. She seems like she likes this type of guy. She seems like she has that type of guy. Instead of you thinking about those kind of negative things, you're simply just thinking about the plan that you have to do. By you focusing on executing the plan, you will find yourself slowly, each time you do it, lose anxiety. Some guys might do this in a few weeks. Some guys might do this in a few months. Some guys, it might take them a whole year to completely get rid of that anxiety. But overall, you will find out that you have the power to get over your approach anxiety. Just by simply putting and focusing on your vision. Conclusion. A lot of this conversational topics, you have to begin to realize is that it's not about you talking to the woman per se, but more so the way that you talk to yourself and communicate yourself while talking to that woman. You see, a lot of guys, they talk at women. They say they spatter a bunch of things, throwing shit on the wall, hoping that it sticks. They say, they say they throw catchphrases like, I never seen a motherfuckers, I'm flies the sky. They say catchphrases like, I'm the shining light of your day. They say all these catchphrases, but they never really talk to the woman. They talk at the woman. When you begin to talk to the woman, you begin to engage her. For example, when you're talking to a woman, you're saying things like, I love to enjoy a beautiful day just sitting on the sun. I want you to just come here with me. But you seem like you are the type to rather sit by a pond and fish. By you doing that, you're just simply engaging the woman. That's all it is. Second way you're engaging the woman. You're saying you might flirt with her. You might be flirting with her. Not gonna lie. You are the thing about you that I do enjoy is that you actually do pay attention and you're very curious about who I am. And it gives me a chance to show you who I am and show you the motherfucker that you're gonna enjoy. So while you're digging deep, while you paying attention and trying to get all these details, just do me a favor. Have an open mind and a vivid imagination, and I'll show you all the things about me that make me an amazing motherfucker that I am. You are telling her who you are, but at the same time telling her what to do. When you give her an instruction, you're always on display of telling her exactly what to do. So now she can listen and understand your intention and understand why she's doing what she's doing. You're literally just you're asserting yourself onto her constantly. This is literally the way you're supposed to talk to women. You're supposed to assert yourself onto a woman. You know what I'm saying? With this being the case, this is how you talk to a woman. But yeah. This is the last hint for this chapter. A woman only cares about the way you see yourself and the way you see her. When when she understands the way you see yourself and the way you see her, this is this is where the magic happens, because you realize she doesn't necessarily care about, you know, what she thinks of you or what she cares about with you. You should never care about that. You should never care about what she thinks about you. You should never care about, you know, the way she feels about you or the way she feels about herself. You should never care about any of that. You should only care about the way you see her. You should only paint the picture of the way you see her and the way you see yourself. That's it. Chapter 5. The player lover boy mentality. Chapter 5. The player lover boy mentality. The player lover boy mentality. What makes the player lover boy so fucking special is that you are the man. You talk to multiple women. You talk to, and you put your bid in with multiple women. You introduce yourself to multiple women. You give multiple women contracts, a chance, the opportunity to meet you. To meet, you know, get to know the amazing motherfucker that you are. You give women the opportunity to talk to you, to be with you, to dance with you, to be sexual with you. You understand the power and the value that you have within yourself, and you understand how to use it. See, the player lover boy mentality is about using the qualities that you have within yourself for the sake of getting whatever you can and whatever you want, whatever you desire out of life. You see, it isn't about limiting yourself just with women, but simply having the mentality of executing on all levels of life. Women are just practice. What makes you that's what makes the player the player. The lover boy. The lover boy is the romantic, the sensual, the freaky, the sexy, the nasty side of you that makes a woman feel special. Not because she's a woman, but because that woman does things to show you, wow, she's special to you. Not every woman gets the lover boy, but every woman gets introduced to the player. You see, once the player gets met and once the player gets seen, that's when the lover boy is shown, because the woman begins to show value into the player. How does she do it? She cooks, she cleans, she follows instructions, she listens. All of these qualities are what makes a player lover boy actually show a woman the attentiveness and the care that makes her fall in love with you. You see? And this is what makes you so special, because you can do all of these things, but at the same time, walk away. That's what makes the player lover boy, the player lover boy. Now, let's have a deep dive. The player lover boy is always emotionally detached, as we went over earlier in the chapters. The emotional detachment allows you to move strategically by withholding your value. You withhold your value. Everything is based off of time, and everything is based off of moves. This is all strategy. You do not talk to a woman every day. you're not available to a woman all the time. So when a woman calls you, sometimes you don't answer. Sometimes you call her back, sometimes you don't. But it's all strategy. It's all fitting to the way that you choose. Sometimes you might want to talk to her every few days. Sometimes you want to talk to her every other week, depending on what you have set up. But the thing is this, fellas. The player lover boy knows and understands that the thing that makes him so special is that when he's with the woman, he sees qualities inside of that woman that she doesn't see within herself. So he begins to unlock who she is, but also making her more valuable by continuously dominating her mentally, by showing and having a high level of self-respect. This is what makes the sex so dangerous. Because sex with a player lover boy will always make the woman want to continuously come back to him, not just for the sex, but for the connection. And the connection is so dangerous because once you have sex with that woman and you connect to things that she didn't see within herself, she begins to unfold some of her deepest, darkest sexual desires. And only a player lover boy, you have to be a player and a lover boy to unlock all of her fantasies. When you unlock all of her fantasies, she begins to let go. Once she lets go, you will find out that there's a lot of things about that woman that will surprise you. But the thing is, to truly unlock your gifts, to truly use your qualities, what you have to do is, you have to completely trust your instincts. When you trust your instincts, what will happen is you will allow yourself to unlock things inside of that woman without her permission. When this happens, she will get deeper into you. She will continuously become deeper and deeper in love and with you. Whether she says the words or not, her actions will continuously be on display to show you that she really likes you once she is connected to you. But the thing is this, the player lover boy knows that not every woman is going to reach this level. Some women are just women to fuck. Some women are women that you do keep, and you keep around for a team factor. Some women, they gonna waste your time, and some women, they just want your attention. They're attention whores, but they don't really like you. It has nothing to do with you, but the way that she perceives the world. Once you understand that the way a woman perceives the world determines whether or not she's attracted to you, you begin to understand that it's completely out of your control for women to like you, to be attracted to you. It's out of your control. The only thing that is in your control is your ability to have confidence in who you are, to completely bring it out of yourself, to constantly do the same, to constantly do what is necessary over and over and over again. Chapter 5A. The thing you must understand is the way that the player views the world is the reason why the player gets perceived as the bad boy. What you will realize is you will not feel guilt. You cannot feel guilty about being who you are. You cannot be shamed about who you are. You cannot be put to shame about who you are. You have to fully accept all of the qualities, the good things, the bad things, the strengths, the weaknesses, Everything about you, who you are as a man, in order for you to be a player. Because you do not live in the confinements of the world. The world wants you to feel guilty so they can control you. The world wants you to feel shame so you can hide who you are. The world wants you to not know the power that you have, because most of the people in the world are not authentic. They're not true to who they are. When you choose to constantly stay true to who you are, understanding the purity of your own intentions and letting those intentions rule your mind, rule who you are, this is when you begin to create a reality that most of the world doesn't understand. This is what truly makes you authentic. This authenticity is what makes you attractive. Listen, most of the world are sheep. 80% of the world are controlled by the media, are controlled by their politics, are controlled by their culture or religion. You choose to be controlled by what you believe. You as a player, you have to always begin to make new rules, a new purpose. You have to instill a new purpose into everything that you do and every part of who you are. Doing this you will begin to let go of what the world thinks that you should be. But first, you have to understand who you are. Once you understand who you are and all the qualities inside of you that you must unlock, you will begin to realize that who you are is going to automatically guide you to the life that you always wanted. It starts with who you are. You see, a lot of guys, they lose sight because the world tells them that they shouldn't do it. The world says you should do this. The world says you should do that. But the truth is, you should do what you want to do. Yes, there are some rules out there that you should follow. There are some, a lot of guys, I say you should follow the laws and you should follow the rules of the land. But at the end of the day, you have to make your own way to live. You have to start coming up with your own perspectives, your own ways of moving. Because if you look at the system is broken. The system isn't narrative, is about image. And if it's solely based upon image, what you have to realize is that most of the people around you, most of the things that's going on around you, and most of the situations that you see aren't necessarily based off things that are real. They're based off things that are fake, superficial, imagery, lies, plans. They're not based upon reality, just something that you see up front. For example, a lot of people believe that a famous guy who had a rapper who has a lot of women in his videos, and he has a lot of money, throwing in the air on the video that the guy is rich and he has a lot of money, has a lot of women. Little do they know that guy is in a deal where he doesn't earn any money until he makes a certain amount of money for the company, which means he's simply not real. And all the women that he actually does meet always says that he's a creep, a weirdo, or he's overly sexual. Some of them, he might even announce that they think that he's gay. This is a guy that most of the world believes is a ladies' man and a millionaire. But behind the mask, he's a guy who is desperate, who didn't believe in him, who doesn't believe in himself, and doesn't have any real confidence. The difference between him and the player is that the player understands that he doesn't need to have a facade, he just needs to have a plan where he wins. He doesn't need to be the biggest star as long as he's living a life that he loves. This is what it truly means to love who you are unconditionally. To accept who you are unconditionally. There is no conditions to the level that you should accept who you are. You should always accept who you are. You should always love who you are. The good things and the bad things, while going after the life that you want, the things that you want. By you doing this, you allow yourself to actually transform into who you need to be to live the life that you want in a truly authentic way that you enjoy. The number one thing about a player, and the number one, is that you have to realize peace in mind is worth more than any dollar. To have peace at mind, where you have no worries, no drama, no bullshit, no fake friends, no fake family, no anybody around you, without you accepting what they are. Once you accept what they are, you know how to move, you move accordingly, so you can keep your peace in mind. A lot of people are crazy. A lot of people are manipulative, and a lot of people are controlling. A lot of people are desperate. A lot of people are so fucked up that they don't care about you as a person outside of you serving them and giving them what they want out of you. This is the way the world works. This is why I always say a lot of this shit is like Disney Channel bullshit. A lot of this shit where TV has shown you that everybody is nice, everybody is kind, everybody is always going to do their best to help you, and this is just not true. The reality of it is that everybody is out for themselves. They're not trying to help you. They're out for themselves. Yes, you're going to run into some people who genuinely want to help you in some way, some form, some fashion, but most people are just simply out for themselves. They don't care about you. You know, they legit do not give a fuck about you, man. And that's what it is. Whether you feel bad about it, whether you feel sad about it, it doesn't matter. They just want to get everything they possibly can out of you. And when you understand this is when you start to understand why women, some of them want to use men. Some of them are attention seekers. Some of them genuinely don't like men. Don't take it personally. Just see it for what it is. Come to peace with what it is. And continuously live your life doing what you want to do. Peace in mind is the most valuable thing on this earth. When you understand that, you will realize why you will be a beacon for women. You will be a beacon for them. Once you understand that you are a beacon because of your peace of mind, because of your attentiveness, because the way you live your life, in a way that is true and that is real, you will connect to women in a way that they're like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm really getting connected with this man. I'm really connected with this man. I can't believe this man really sees me. I can't believe it. I can't believe he sees the lies. I can't believe he sees the games. I can't believe he sees through my mask so effectively. And it's because this is the way you live your life. In order for you to actually cultivate the mindset that you need to have to live life in a way where you see through all of the bullshit and you start to see things for what they are, you have to accept who you are. You have to accept it and still love who you are, no matter where you are at, and continuously use what you have for the sake of getting what you want. Use your own plans, and if you don't have the plans, go find some. The thing about the player, what makes a effective player, an efficient player, effective and efficient, is his ability to learn. You have to be able to learn. You have to have a level of humility where you realize that you don't know anything. If you have that, I promise you, you will learn everything that is out there that is being offered. Your value will jump significantly when you're able to admit that you don't know something, and even if you think you know, still challenge yourself and see if you really know. See if you really know, because you might not even know. You might think you know and you don't know. And this is the thing as well of why society is so trapped in a box, is because a lot of people believe that they already know. They're not curious to find out. You have to be very curious to know what knowledge is out there, what information is out there. You have to be very curious. And sometimes it's around you. Like, you're not even curious about you're not curious about the people around you. You're not curious about what's actually going on inside their head. You're not actually curious. You should be very fucking curious. Not judging them, not putting them down, not belittling them, but accepting who they are. When you accept that, then you will be offered more, which will launch you and make you be able to have more value because you know more. Sometimes you don't always have to have the most effective and efficient plan. You just need to be able to learn an effective and efficient plan, use it, and once you use it, you will develop new ways. This is the best thing about being a player, because once you really understand the learning process about things, that's when you will begin to realize the point is you doing something that you have to learn over and over and over and over and over again, to the point where you don't even question what you have to do. You just know. This is what it means to achieve mastery. So yes, you're not going to automatically just read this one time and understand everything to a T. You have to use it, come back, use it again, come back, use it again, come back, use it again, and eventually you'll learn. For example, whenever I first started using the rules of self-respect, I knew the rules, but I didn't know how to execute the rules. So I would learn them, develop them, and I would see where I wasn't using them. But I saw it. I saw where I wasn't using them. And I had to understand, why wasn't I using the rules? And then once I used the rules, sometimes I began to realize that I didn't use it effectively. And I would find more effective ways to use the rules. And then I would find even more effective ways to use the rules. Because even though the rules are out and about, I can't necessarily, I can, but I don't want to necessarily just be chanting our rules to people, and they're like, what the fuck is he chanting about? You have to be able to effectively speak for yourself to a point where people can understand it. But the more I understood the rules, the more I understood how to use them, the more I realized that sometimes I don't necessarily have to fully explain the rule or fully say something about the rule. I just have to enforce a piece of it in that moment so they can understand it effectively, and it will give them, that alone will give them a better understanding of what I like and what I don't like, what I'm going to deal with, what I'm not going to deal with, giving them a better idea of how to operate around me. But there was a point where I didn't understand the rules. There was a time where I would forget the rules. I'd be like, man, something doesn't feel right, but I forgot what it was. So I had to come back and forth. I had to learn. I had to develop. I had to actually master it, because I had to continuously use it with a point where it was just instilled inside of me. is what it means to learn. A lot of people don't want to fail, so they never learn. But this is one of the biggest keys about being a player lover boy, is the ability to fail. Not being afraid to fail. Not being afraid to fall on your face. Because you're going to always learn. And by you learning, you will evolve into somebody who doesn't even have to try. You just find yourself just doing some fly shit. And everybody like, how you did that? Like, I just did it. Not knowing all of the work that you put in to become that. And this is what it means to be a true player in the game. Being a lover boy, a true lover boy, not one of these fake ass, fucking simp ass lover boys, a real just a lover boy, a man who really genuinely loves women. To be that guy, you have to genuinely love yourself, because you will begin to realize that a lot of women that genuinely like you are just simply a reflection of you. They're just reflecting off you. That's exactly why when they're around you, their mood changes, especially if you stand on who you are. Their mood begins to change. So in order for you to have this, you must continuously and always find different ways to connect with who you are. For example, when I told you guys to be intentional about what you do and what you say, a good way for y'all to do that is to ask yourself, or go find 1,000 questions and answer the questions to basically understand yourself more. Understanding why behind the why, behind the why, behind the why, behind the why of the answer that you find for the question. When you do this, you begin to find depth within who you are. And once you find that depth and once you know, you will not be able to lose that depth. It will be a part of you. And what you begin to realize is women value you just as much as you value yourself. Whether you know it or not, you value yourself, man. You use yourself for everything anyway. So when you understand how you work and how you operate, your ins and your outs of your creativity, or the ins and outs of the way you would want to be ideally, the ins and outs of how you are privately, the ins and outs of how you really feel, how you really think, the ins and outs of the way you view your downfalls, the way you view your strengths, the way you view your weaknesses, or finding out your strengths and your weaknesses. All of these things will make you more of a lover, because you're literally giving yourself the necessary attention that's going to cause you to love yourself. You're going to actually understand what love really is more than any woman could, more than anybody could, because you know how to love yourself. This is the mentality of the player lover boy.